34 days to save the country from the mad left. It's the mantra we deliver every night because it is the future of the country. We are at the same crossroads we were in 2007 when the country made the mistake and chose Rudd over Howard. This is an even bigger choice with a bloke who doesn't know what he's doing, an egomaniac with the Greens, KK on the borders, Penny Wong pulling things to the left, and imagine Lydia Thorpe with even more power. Well, they always say a week's a long time in politics, and this time, last week, it was the start of the election campaign, and we already saw the beginnings of what became the horror week for Anthony Albanese. Remember, the first thing he did when it came to trying to win over people's vote was to go and play with chickens at the Easter show. But remember, in the past week, he didn't know the unemployment rate. He doesn't know about interest rates. He lied about the amount of casual workers. He lied about his job in the Hawke government. He stuffed up, and again today, on border protection, and he's reheating a failed policy with regards to healthcare from the Rudd administration that not even the super lefty AMA supports. Now, the latest polls have come out and they start to show us that there is a big swing on. The movement is on. Our message is getting through. Normal people are paying attention. Albo has been thumped in a poll that came out tonight via Channel 9 newspapers, promoted on Channel 9 by Chris Ullman in their 6 p.m. coverage. How's this? He's going to need more than a piece of paper. He's going to need a crash helmet because this bloke is sinking and sinking fast. Now, he never got in front of the Prime Minister in terms of preferred Prime Minister, but now he's 7 points off with 1 week down, 5 to go. The Prime Minister's numbers are getting stronger. The undecideds are breaking his way. If that trend continues, well then, the media got it wrong for 3 years. The country wants to re-elect Scott Morrison and his government, but there is a long way to go, make no mistake. But that said, you couldn't have had a worse start than this one, and the data backs it up. Again, Chris Ullman on Channel 9 tonight.
Well, this is an abysmal result for Labor, Lizzie. The lead it enjoyed going into this race has evaporated. On these numbers, this contest is now too close to call.
Now, that is extraordinary. Remember, at a point in time, we were told this was a 10-point lead, lock it all away. Why does the Prime Minister even bother going to an election? It's already been decided. Well, just as I told you when they told us it was 10 points, I told you it was closer because you and I know that it's closer. You and I know what the risk is. You and I know how not up to it Anthony Albanese is. And I love how the media wants to pretend it's all a series of unforced errors. He has made one a day through the campaign. Labor loyal people are just hoping for a day without a gaffe because there hasn't been one. And we're not talking about little silly gaffes. We're talking about major gaffes that show this bloke had one plan and one plan only, and it was to be Aussie Joe Biden, which was to hide from scrutiny, make it all about the other guy, and then win by default. Well, it's not going to happen. That said, off the information that we see in the Resolve poll today, you have to squeeze a little number here and push a little number there. But put simply, we are still looking at this moment, with 5 weeks to go, at a Labor minority government, but not a minority government by 1 or 2, a minority government with plenty of crazies on the crossbench. For the government, their vote is getting stronger in Victoria, stronger in New South Wales. They're way in front in Queensland, but I don't have data to share with you about what's happening in Western Australia. That's why the Prime Minister is in Western Australia and will be for the next couple of days. If they can limit the damage there. Now, remember, worst case scenario, it was as many as 4 they could lose. They'll settle for 1. They hope not to lose 2. Also, when it comes to the fake independents, for every 1 that they lose to a fake independent, they need to pick up 2 somewhere else to get even close to a minority government themselves, or to hold on to 76 and remain the majority. That's why this is a 6-week campaign. And Anthony Albanese cannot change a lifetime of lefty activism in 5 weeks. He cannot change being unprepared and on the wrong side of the issues in just 5 weeks. We will see in the People's Forum on Wednesday just how unprepared Albanese is. But he'll walk into that room promising to solve everyone's problems, but having no real detail about any of it. Because detail matters. At times it can be boring, at times it can be a Canberra bubble discussion. But detail matters when your job is to run the country, not just effortlessly bag the other bloke and again try to become Aussie Joe Biden. Well, it's not going to happen. People consider the people who run this country to need more steel in their spine and more grey matter between their ears to actually be entrusted with running the joint. Now, the truth is that we've got a problem when it comes to the truth with Albanese. These aren't just little flubs, these are straight out lies that he is telling. Now, he told everyone that his plans when it came to reheating Rudd's plan when it came to GP super clinics. Remember, Rudd promised a whole bunch but delivered one, and as I said, the AMA don't even support this. He claims that all of this had been fully costed. You can trust us with your money.
It's my fully costed plan for a better future.
Policy has been costed, like all of our policies by the Parliament. But this has been fully costed by the Parliamentary Budget Office.
That's a lie. And even the Channel 9 newspapers have to recognise it. You've got to understand how much the lefty media hate having to report that this is not the coronation. Peter Credlin was right in her documentary, and as always, correct in saying elections are a test. Katie Gallagher had to write a tweet saying that the cost of Labor's urgent care centre, which is the reheated Rudd policy, is based on work done by the Parliamentary Budget Office, but for the avoidance of any confusion, it has not been fully costed by the PBO. Albo has been lying. He's lying in his ads, he's lying in his speeches, he's lying in his media appearances, and when he gets caught, he's not very convincing.
You said that you will fess up to every mistake that you make. How did you not know that the urgent care clinics were not fully formally costed by the Parliamentary Budget Office?
Well, they were informed by the PBO work, and all of our policies will be fully costed and fully released and are.
It's not the same thing, though, is it, Mr. Albanese? It's not the same thing, though, is it?
They were informed by PBO
It's not
costing.
the same thing as those saying it's costed, Mr. Albanese. Do your ads need to be taken down?
Fully costed. There's an ad running in which that you say this policy is fully costed. Should that ad be changed? It's not true.
The policy is fully costed and it's informed by work that was done by the PBO.
Not the same thing. Can you get a worse look than a bloke telling lies out the front of a church on Good Friday? Because that's what you saw. This bloke has no idea and he is a dangerous fraud for the country. Voters can see it and the polls are starting to reflect it. However, due to the enormity of the task, he is still in a position right now when it comes to minority government. It is unbelievable that that's the case, but watch this space. Play every day like it's the last day. Play every day like it's the final quarter. Play every day like you're 2 tries behind with 2 minutes to go, because that is the reality, and this bloke still thinks he can slide through. The media will do everything they can to make it a bad week for Morrison because of the shocking week that was with Albanese, but he can't get out of his own way. Literally, public speaking does not include blah, 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 let alone somebody who is trying to sit opposite 16 million people in a job interview and lying, getting things wrong every single day.